One other practice which can be very helpful for the learners are you can start talking about your daily routine. The daily routine is something which
Right.
you are, going through every day. So, example, first day you may feel hesitant. You may not be able to convert all your daily activities in one. Second day, maybe you feel little comfortable. Third day, you will feel more comfortable. And this is how one day you will be able to tell your all daily routine in a very easy and appropriate manner. And learning at night will be most useful thing because that time we are alone and we can give our 100% to that particular thing, like whatever we are learning. In a day, sometimes we are occupied and we're not able to give our 100%. Guys are beginner, you can use these practice and improve your English. So, ma'am, any other
Absolutely.
tip and point if you have, you can discuss, ma'am.
Definitely. That how you are growing over period of time. And
Mhm.
it's also something that as kids that is drilled into us, like, whatever you are thinking, write it down, write it down. I somehow feel writing is a very important tool in building memory. So
Ma'am.
do that whenever you have a thought.
Very good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Karishma?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to have this session with you. And as I already know about you, so just for my viewers, I would like you to give me a short introduction along with telling us about Sparky.
Sure, Karishma. So always good to have a conversation with you and so excited to be here. Hi, everyone. For all the new viewers who haven't seen our previous conversations, I'm Namita. I'm co-founder of Sparky. I am an educator at heart. I've been an educator for the last 15 years. I've taught in India, I've taught in the US, and currently building Sparky, which is an AI English learning buddy. Um, what it does is it helps you build your spoken English fluency. It is powered by generative AI, so it is very adaptable, that which means that it is very flexible, and it based on your English level, it will talk to you, it will guide you on vocabulary, it will guide you on grammar, it will help your pronunciation. So more about it later, but that is what I'm working on, I'm building right now. Really, really excited to be here and having this conversation.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your introduction. So, as you know, that today's topic, we are going to discuss that how beginners can start thinking in English. This is the first step towards learning English. Whosoever, if you want to improve your English language, you must start it thinking in English. But exactly how? This is the question of many beginners. They do not know that how we can start thinking in English all of a sudden. Like, obviously, if you're a beginner, you don't know how to speak. So, how you can do it. So, this is what we are going to discuss. So, I wanted to start with you. Give me just few tips for the beginners.
Sure, Karishma. So Karishma, this is one of my favorite topics, and some a conversation that I have with learners as young as 6 year olds to as old as 35 year olds, because I think English language learning journey for everyone is similar. Like, it's always starting from something that they absolutely don't know, and they have this fear of English language. So my first advice to everyone is that it's, any language, when we are kids, when we are babies, how do we pick it up? We pick it up by observing, by looking at things. So same way, if you want to pick up English as a language, surround yourself, immerse yourself in English language. Now, what does that mean? Like, when we are kids, we have our, course books. Sometimes if we go to an English medium school, then in school we are forced to speak in English. Then the kind of exercises that are given to us. I remember that in my room, my parents had put posters, um, to help me, like, with vocabulary words, or things that are written in English around me. And even in classroom, I remember that, we used to have these posters around. So that is what I mean by immerse. Now, what does that mean for an adult? Now, for an adult, that means that when you're listening to music, listen to an English music. When you are listening to some podcast or some YouTube video, uh, listen to it in English. Watch movies in English. So, and see if you can read English newspaper, read English books, sit with a dictionary and read it. So basically, very intentionally surround yourself with English material. And that doesn't mean books like textbooks, because adults and children learn differently. So for adults, it's very important that how does it make sense in my daily life, and find those kind of materials. So magazines are a great source. Um, So I would say that is one tip that I would give. That first is create your surrounding in English, and
That's true.
that is the first step that you are taking. Um, what do you think about that, Karishma?
Yes, ma'am, I have the same opinion. I still remember when I was learning English and when I listened this thing from the other YouTubers that you should start thinking in English. So the moment when I start thinking about something, I was stuck only because of the reason I do not know the meaning of that particular thing. So what I did, I first like learn all the vocabulary words which are around me. For example, like what do we call like balan? What do we call it? I did not know that. And it is called rolling pin. So like
Really?
the moment I get to know about few vocabularies, I started thinking in English. Like whatever I'm doing, I try to repeat it just like with me in English. For example, if I'm cooking my breakfast, so I would say, okay, I'm preparing this yummy paratha for me, and I'm going to eat with lots of butter. So this is how I started speaking small sentences, like at the very beginning. So
Right.
beginners, I think you can also do the same. This is the best practice for you if you really want to improve your English. So
Correct.
before we moving ahead, I would like to know, ma'am, how Sparky can help beginners to improve
Sure.
their English.
Sure. So Karishma, just bring as I was talking about, surround yourself or immerse yourself in English language, or think, create, like if you have a room, put posters around your wall in English, reading books, magazines. Similarly, finding a partner, having daily conversations. So speaking aloud is one of the best ways to speak in English. And I'm sure that your learners would have heard this so many times. But what does that mean? Because a lot of times we don't know. Standing in front of a mirror and talking is, I would say, somebody who's comfortable and wants to build confidence of. But they already have a certain level of fluency. This technique works well for them. But if you don't have the fluency and you want to build fluency, one of the best ways is to find a speaking partner. And that's where Sparky plays a very important role. That Sparky is that daily speaking partner, because it's not necessary that you will have someone around you all the time. Um, Imagine having Sparky on your phone, accessible, available to you 24/7. You can talk to it on any topic of your interest. So there are topics that Sparky will suggest. And then there are topics that there are these open conversations that you can have about topics that interest you. So, for example, if there is a recipe that you are interested in and you want to have a conversation around it, I'm just giving an example. Or if there's a movie that you want to have a discussion about, or for example, you want to take help in, say, planning your budget. But imagine having that conversation with someone, but the language of that conversation is English. So you're still having your daily conversations, or you want to set up a daily routine, for example, and you're taking help of Sparky, that even to build this English routine, how do I go about it? Or you want to plan a vacation. I'm just giving that as an example. Or maybe for more serious learner, like if you want to actually learn an English language topic, you can talk to Sparky, and Sparky will guide you if you're making grammatical errors while you're doing the conversation. It's giving you feedback, it's correcting you. There is also dictionary, there is also translation support that is provided. There is also help in the form of hints and tips that are provided, which guides the conversation. So, for example, I don't know how to take this conversation forward because I don't have the right language. So there are hints and tips that are provided, and at the end of all of this, you get a report which tells you how did you perform and where do you need to improve. So I think Sparky that way is a great buddy to have to practice on daily topics and build your spoken English fluency. Happy to show a demo of it to actually see that how these conversations happen and how you can use these different tools like dictionary or pronunciation tool, or practice on Sparky.
Guidance, or if you have any questions related to interview or any job role, click on the hamburger menu, which is at the top left corner of your mobile phone. Click on it. Look for career help and start the conversation.
Hi, Rima. I am your interview prep buddy. What kind of job are you aiming for?
Hi, Sparky. I'm looking for a software development job. I actually have an interview tomorrow and I don't know how to introduce myself. Can you help me?
That's great, Rima. For introducing yourself in a software development interview, start with your name and mention your passion for coding. Would you like me to help you practice?
Yes, please. That will be really helpful. Can you give me an example by telling me exactly how you would introduce if you were in my place?
Sure, Rima. If I were in your place, I would say, "Hi, my name is your name. I am passionate about software development and have experience in relevant skills. I'm excited to be here for the interview. Now it's your turn. Practice introducing yourself using this example. Remember to be confident.
Sure, let me try. Hi, I'm Rima. I am a software developer and I have experience in developing softwares for Android app, and I have skill in I can do coding in Python and Java, and I'm really excited to be here for the interview.
Great job, Rima. Just a few corrections. Hi, I'm Rima. I am a software developer with experience in developing Android apps. I have coding skills in Python and Java. I'm really excited to be here for the interview. You're doing amazing.
If you need any career,
Great.
So as we have seen the demo and it's really amazing, it's very easy to understand all the things. So like moving forward to the topic, I would like to know the other tips or tricks which can help people to improve their thinking process, how they can improve it.
Got it. I think one big one is visualization. So let me just break down. Visualization sounds like a really big word, but taking your example, like you were saying, when you think about your breakfast, you are thinking about paratha, for example. Now imagine that is what is visualization. That you imagine your plate and what is on your plate. Now convert all of that in English language. So for example, you will say, I'll have a whole wheat bread um, on the side of some yogurt. I'll have some yellow lentils. I'll have some cauliflower vegetable, and I'll eat it with a spoon. And then I think I'll have some rice, cooked rice with it. So I think those are the ways, but what is important is you visualize it. Similarly, this is food because food is very visual, so it's easy to do. Similarly, when you think about anything like going to work, you're going to work. So you visualize like, what are you going to wear to work today? I'm going to wear an orange shirt with blue jeans and with my white sandals. So just translating your daily things that you do by step one is to visualize them, think about them, how do they look, and then actually saying them. Like for example, what device do you use at work? You will say, I use a computer, right? What all do you do at work? So you will define, like, you can just say that I do, or if it's in Hindi, main ye, and whatever you can visualize and put it in, like, I prepared this report and then I send it to my manager. Then I receive feedback. So just defining or thinking about visualizing what you are receiving or what you are, whatever you are doing, and then converting it in English is always easier. It's always tougher things that we cannot visualize. that's where we struggle to
Yes.
to communicate, and that's understandable. So start with things that you can visualize. I'll give you an example, like with my kid right now. He's not even 2 years old. What we do is we use different fruits and vegetables, like those are because you know he's able to visualize. So I tell him, like, can you get me an apple? So he doesn't know the spelling of an apple. He cannot do anything, but he knows the
Yes.
photo of an apple. So
Structure.
he's able
Yeah.
to go and pick that apple. So same is the case with us. Like once we create a picture of something in our mind, that's how we learn things. And
Yes.
just converting it into English language.
Same here, ma'am. I also have a toddler at home and I am doing this practice with him. As you said that we also have a lot of posters with us because when my older one was like 2 years old, we get so many posters in English so that we can teach him like this is this and what do we call this? What do we call this? So now these days my son is also able to recognize banana, apple, and few other fruits. So I'm using it. Also, what I feel is that one other practice which can be very helpful for the learners are you can start talking about your daily routine. The daily
Hmm.
routine is something which
Right.
you are going through every day. So if you will feel comfortable, like after for example, first day you may feel hesitant, you may not be able to convert all your daily activities in one. Second day maybe you feel little comfortable, third day you will feel more comfortable, and this is how one day you will be able to tell your all daily routine in a very easy and appropriate manner, and also in a precise way. This is what I did when I was learning English. I used to do this practice a lot, and every time I used to make mistake. I did not know like present and definite tense. I was really weak at that time. So I used to make a lot of mistakes, and even though I thought, okay, whatever I'm making mistake, that's okay. I have to, do it. I have to practice it. And this is how I have learned. Other thing also you can do is like at the end of the day, in the evening, or maybe when you're going to sleep, you can just remind the whole day activities in English. Okay,
Right.
today I've done this, today I got this appreciation, today I bought this pen, today I received this. Like this is how you can create small sentences. And what I feel is that learning at night will be most useful thing because that time we are alone and we can give our 100% to that particular thing, like whatever we are learning. In the day, sometimes we are occupied and we're not able to give our 100%. So I think I utilize this method and I used to do this practice a lot in my initial days. So if you guys are beginner, you can use these practice and improve your English. So ma'am, any other
Absolutely.
tip and point if you have, you can discuss, ma'am.
Definitely. I think just building on what you said about the daily routine, and so not just speaking about it, I always encourage that, when as you're speaking, also write it down. Because writing really solidifies, or it makes whatever you are thinking, and when you write it, you have better memory of it. You will
Yes.
not forget it, and you can always go back to it. And it's okay if you are making a mistake or you're not sure about the spelling mistake. It's all right. Nobody, when we are speaking, whether I spell speaking as SPEEKING or SPEAKING, it doesn't matter, because
Doesn't
the
matter.
message is still communicating across. We are talking
Yes.
right now about spoken English, but writing is one great way of building that, of building memory of what I know. So, and writing is a good way of also seeing that, yesterday how many sentences did I write, because that's also a direct correlation with what I spoke. So same way you
Yes.
can also compare that how you are growing over a period of time. And
Mhm.
it's also something that as kids that is drilled into us, like, whatever you are thinking, write it down. I somehow feel writing is a very important tool in building memory. So do
Memory.
that whenever you have a thought, or when you are like just thinking about the day. Maintain a journal, write down in it, like, what did I do
Mhm.
today? And it's okay, you can make it like combination of English with your mother tongue, and see slowly how you can move more and more towards English. And sit with a dictionary. I would highly recommend everyone buying a dictionary, or having an online dictionary, whatever is convenient for you. Keep that with you. Whenever you are unsure of something, look in the dictionary. That really helps. That's something that we had actually built into a conversation with Sparky, because I understand that sometimes when we are talking and there's a word that I don't understand when somebody else is talking to me, I know that picking up a dictionary, finding that word can break the flow of the conversation. So so we had actually built dictionary into Sparky, that you can just long press on any word that Sparky says and get the translation and the dictionary word for it. That what does it mean?
Okay, that's a great option. I feel it will be very helpful for the people. I would like to ask you one more question. That is my personal question. I was confused about it.
Sure.
As like many people do translation from their native language to English language, and even I used to do it at the beginning. I used to watch actually a Kanchan ma'am channel. There's a YouTuber. She used to translate sentences English to Hindi in 1 single minute video. So there's a lot of videos uploaded there. What I do for my sentence structure, I used to watch those videos, and this is how I get to know, okay, we can say this word like this in English. So is this really helpful, or we are doing it like wrong? We shouldn't do this. What is your opinion about that?
So Karishma, there's no right or wrong. Like, it's not wrong to translate, but but if you want to build your spoken English fluency faster, I would say that translation is definitely a slower process, because you're starting off from a place of comfort to and then moving to a place of discomfort, which is a new language that you're learning. So I would say that if new language is what you want to build, then learning directly from new language is most helpful. That's why, even like I said, that we've given at a word level translation, not at a whole bubble level, because that is super comfortable. Like, if you know that I will get a translation of everything, I will not even make an effort to
Yes.
to try to make some connection, try to break it down, because a lot of times we know, but it's because we are unsure of whether we are understanding it correctly, or we are going to make a mistake. We get the hesitation. But there's no harm in doing translation. Absolutely, you can go for it if that works for you. But I would say that's a slower process compared to just learning directly English from English.
Okay, okay. But sometimes, like the people who are actually beginner, they do not even know how to read, how to speak. They did not even learn the grammar in their school in a proper way. For those people, I feel that they can start with this. This might be
Absolute
helpful to them.
beginners. Completely
Absolute beginners,
absolute
yeah.
yeah, absolute beginners. Yes, they could try translation, but they should put like a time limit to this support. They should
Okay.
definitely, that this should not be the only way that they remember or they learn that language, because otherwise they will always be looking for translation somewhere.
Translation, and they won't be able to learn it properly. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes,
true.
yes. Yes,
That's
so
true.
for
That's true.
absolute beginners who do not know a word in English, yeah, sure, translation can be a good way to start, especially for adults.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Amazing. The tips you have shared, I think it's really amazing, and people will get a lot of help from these tips and tricks. And what I feel is that practice is the most important thing for learning
Right.
any new thing, whether it is a language or any other thing. So be consistent, do practice every single day, and that is the only thing which can help you to improve your English, not anything else. So if you're practicing daily, it can really help you, and you will be able to learn faster as compared to if you're not practicing regularly. I can see the changes when I have been practicing from last 2 years now. So if I compare like my own videos from last 2 years ago, there's a huge difference, and I feel very satisfied because I can see there's an improvement. So that's the best way. And you should also encourage yourself, appreciate yourself, give reward to yourself, whatever you have achieved, and do not compare yourself with any other person. You should believe on yourself on. And this is how you can learn English. It's not that difficult. And Sparky can help you in this. It is the best option, best buddy. The people who say that we do not have anyone to practice with, how can we practice, ma'am? I've received a lot of comments even now that, ma'am, I'm from village. I have no one to speak English with. I have no environment. What should I do? So this Sparky is built for you. You can practice with him. You can communicate with him. It will help you to correct everything like grammar, pronunciation, mistakes, everything. So yeah, that's all about this video. And thank you so much, ma'am, joining me on this podcast, we can say. And thank you so much for sharing your important tips. for learning
Thank you.
language.
Thank you for inviting me, Karishma. And I agree with you that patience and practice are the only two ways of learning the language. Be patient; it will happen. Don't be impatient in this learning journey, and be regular, like Karishma said. It's very, very important to be regular. I think, Karishma, that the video that we had done on the 5 mistakes that language learners do. I think that could be one of the things that learners can benefit from as well. That because a lot is on the expectation and losing confidence in self that comes in the way of English language learning.
I will mention the link of that video in I button, so you can check it out, that video also, and that's really amazing. You will get a lot of help from that video also. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for
Okay, ma'am.
inviting me, Karishma.
Thank
Take
you so
care.
much, ma'am. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yes.